Hello, and welcome to our next presentation in our ongoing series of titles from the great campaigns of the American Civil War. My name is Patrick, and you are watching Patrick's Tactics and Tutorials, and this is yet another one of our releases in our ongoing, well, at least for the last 5 or 6 years, playthroughs of these wonderful titles from this vaunted series. It has been my pleasure to experience all of these titles with my partner in crime, Roger, over the last 5 years. And this is, I believe, our seventh foray into it. And this one brings us to Stonewall's Last Battle, continuing in our quasi chronological series. We are back into mid 1863 with the Chancellorsville campaign and some extra added on bits that we will see here. But before I do that, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Patrick. I have been playing great campaigns of the American Civil War for nearly 20 years now. And round about 15 years ago, I thought, wow, what a great way to learn this was to create a video series. And just what turned out to be a wild hare became something pretty ongoing. I was really surprised at the reception that I got after doing a series of 6 tutorial videos, just going through the basic rules, the standard series rules for the great campaigns. And because of that wonderful feedback during the pandemic years, I happened upon a wonderful opportunity to continue. One of the great bits of feedback that I got after the tutorial series was, why don't you go more into gameplay and strategy and tactics? And I said, well, I could teach you how to play, but I'm really not as good of a player as people seem to think. But when this opportunity presented itself in the form of Roger Kittleson, then I was able to create a new idea, which was to play through some of these and to experience them not only through teaching Roger, but to teach everyone through the YouTube video series. So, Roger, tell everyone a little bit about yourself as we do at the top of every one of these new titles.
Hello and welcome, everybody. I grew up on a small farm, small town in northeastern Iowa. And in terms of my gaming experience, my dad taught me the rules of chess when I was young. I can't remember not knowing how to play chess. We also played some other board games, Monopoly and Parcheesi. And we also played card games. And the card game I was reminded of at my family reunion recently is called Somerset, which is a Midwestern card game, which most people I'd never even heard of. When I was about 10, 11 years old, I saw in our local five and dime store, which a lot of people probably, I guess today it'd be, I don't know what it would be today. I don't even think those kind of stores exist anymore. But incredibly, in their board game section, they had Africa Core. And I was fascinated by history even as a young kid, and told my mother I really liked that game and would she buy it for me? And she said, no. But then she must have come back and remembered it because I got it for Christmas. And I played my youngest brother, who's 6 years older than me, with that and enjoyed it for a couple years. And somewhere along the line, someone bought me Richthofen's War, which apparently is another classic Avalon Hill game. And I soloed that a lot. I never had the courage to tell anybody in my high school, or maybe it was the wisdom not to tell anybody in my high school that I had these board games that I was playing. I went to college, kind of dropped out of board gaming, got my degrees, went to work here in Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Tennessee area, went into a local game store when I was walking for exercise in the mall, and they had the Civil War by Victory games, which apparently is another considered classic. Bought that as a bachelor and would set up on my table and play that a couple turns every night for weeks. Got married. Didn't really put that game away as much as when my wife and I would go on vacation to the beach, I would take it and set it up. And one year I forgot it completely. We were down in the Charleston area, so I drove to a game store and looked to see what they might have. And lo and behold, Roads to Gettysburg just kind of spoke to me. The original Roads to Gettysburg. I bought that. That kind of became my go-to game for vacationing. And then my wife bought me Stonewall Jackson's Way, the original. So one or both of those games would join us on vacation. But then the situation, our life situation changed. The ability to take these long vacations kind of disappeared. So they just went on the shelf, didn't take them off for years until I think, I'm going to say 2019. I was watching probably some Civil War documentary on YouTube, and lo and behold, Patrick's Tactics and Tutorials recommendation popped up, how to play, and I was like, oh, I've got that game. So I clicked it, watched it, and it inspired me to get the games out on the table. I started searching the internet, found Board Game Geek and Console World, and on the Facebook group. I found the Facebook group about the same time as Ken Lee, who is, if you don't know Ken Lee, he does a tremendous amount in the Great Campaigns community. He was organizing a Vassal, which I'd never heard of, and I think we use Skype for audio for people to join in and watch them play a Stonewall Jackson's Way scenario. I can't remember which one. And Patrick was recording it. It took me probably 30, 45 minutes to figure out how to get into that whole thing. But it inspired me with my wife telling me, you really should get somebody. If you can play it online, you should find somebody. And I put on Facebook a request for somebody to teach me how to use Vassal. And Patrick responded, and he said, I'm going to record this. I said, sure, why not? And we did Cedar Mountain. That was in 2020. So COVID, I think this was just before COVID or just after COVID. It was right at that time period. And so I was furloughed for the duration of the 6 months or so. So I know one of myself is a little bit of OCD. So I ended up buying anything I could find on Great Campaigns. And Patrick and I played Stonewall Jackson, all the basic scenarios, Stonewall Jackson's Way, All Green Alike, On to Richmond, Hood Strikes North, which was our first campaign that we did, Grant Takes Command. We just finished Thunder on the Mississippi. So yeah, we've tried to do this quasi-historical thing. We haven't really done very well on that, but it's been quite a ride, and it's pretty amazing that we've come this far. And it's now, we've done this now for so long, I can't remember the exact timings because I've slept since then of when we did what. But it's just been a fantastic ride, and we're ready here to start Stonewall's Last Battle, which is going to be. We spent a year and 2 months playing Thunder on the Mississippi. We'll probably only take a couple months to whip through this one. So excited for the opportunity.
Well, I am excited to have you here, of course, and you left out the man himself. Burnside takes command.
Oh, Burnside takes command. That's right. We did that. That's right. I forgot about that. That was a fun one too. I enjoyed that one a lot. That was a very interesting campaign, and they've all been interesting. And the reason I mentioned I enjoyed history really kind of captivated me by the Great Campaign system is that one is it's not based on the battles, it's based on the campaigns, if you're not familiar with it. So it's actually in some of these titles, if you're playing the campaign game, it's actually kind of hard to recreate the actual battle location. Thunder on the Mississippi, for example, neither one of us even tried to take Jackson, Mississippi, though we did have the siege. But it really puts you in that mindset of the general, the issues those generals had to deal with, without really the big issue, which of course is fog of war. You know where everybody's at. But it's changed my opinion on a couple of people. It really has. I've tempered my judgment in a way that reading the history doesn't. And so I'm grateful to the designers of the system, Joe Balakowski, Ed Beach, Chris Withers. Boy, I don't want to leave anybody out. We're going to be playing Trevor Bender's scenario this morning, Mike Bellis, and I know there's others who have been involved. And I just want to, and Alberto Romero, huge shout out to him for these Vassal modules. Just so many people that have contributed to making this, for me, an educational as well as an enjoyment experience.
That's a perfect segue back to me, because that's exactly how I arrived at this point. Just to give you the brief sketch of my gaming history, started out, with all the family stuff. My family were not gamers for the most part, but I actually stumbled into gaming early in the 80s. I had a circle of friends, neighborhood friends, as you do, and we played things like Risk was obviously something that was introduced to me. Atari was prevalent at that time, so we were doing a lot of video gaming at that time, but I also got into basic and advanced Dungeons and Dragons at that time, so I kind of cut my teeth in all of that, all the 80s tropes of kids and from Gen X, so you can look it up, and we all mostly had the same experiences. And I was heavily involved in Boy Scouting at the time, and we would spend, on the weekends when you get into the Order of the Arrow, you have some weekends that are, quote, the fun weekends. So you're not doing all the service projects, but you would have 2 to 3 gatherings where it was all weekend and they would just, you're there for fun and fellowship. And when you're not doing the structured activities, they said, you guys can stay up in the dining hall as long as you like, as long as you keep it to the dining hall, keep it quiet. And of course, we had teenagers and some folks there that were big board gamers. They were passing on the tradition of Avalon Hill games. So I remember frequent games going late into the night of West End games like Junta. Obviously, Risk and Axis and Allies were what we were most prevalently playing, but that's where I got to cut my teeth on my early Avalon Hill experiences with Civilization. Source of the Nile was probably my fondest memory. That one just came out of nowhere and it struck a chord with me, and I think that was probably what put me on the path down Avalon Hill. And of course, like Roger, very similarly, you grow up, you go to college, you put away childish things for a little bit, and then you get the disposable income, and then you want to revisit some of those things, and that's exactly what happened to me. Was I had the opportunity, I'd settled down, and I was looking for chance to revisit some of those things that I had gotten a taste of, but not really gotten to experience fully. And one of my passions during high school and college was the American Civil War. I have family members going back that that's part of our family history, so that was deeply ingrained on me. I'm from South Florida, which for most of you know that's not like the South, but most of my family is from Georgia and Mississippi. So if that gives you,
Uh-oh.
yeah, so Georgia and Mississippi, that gives you an indication of how things went. It was just something that was part of your understanding growing up with that. So I wanted to learn more about it, and of course I had friends that were also interested in it. And once I got to college and I was able to experience some of these things, I did look into games such as A House Divided and even tried the Civil War by Eric Smith, and it was just those were great. And I think the one that hit me like a thunderbolt out of the blue was Mark Herman's magnum opus to me, For the People. I was really into the card-driven stuff in the early 2000s with Paths of Glory and with Twilight Struggle coming about, and just being able to go into the strategic level of the American Civil War was brilliant, because while you were still doing that in the Civil War, now you had the card play, and I loved that mechanic. So that really that was such a wonderful aspect to me. Then I tried some of the tactical level stuff, and I was like, it's a little more than I want to I want to do. I don't know if I want to get down into the drummer boy chit that you pull out that he's going to help activate this 4 regiments from this brigade, and I was like, that's too much. So I found the sweet spot here. I stumbled upon the Great Campaigns in the American Civil War, which is the operations level, and 1 hex equals 1 mile, and you're moving divisions and corps and armies around, and wow, this was the one that I fell in love with, and I found a great group of players. I learned how to play it, and the way I did it was to jump right into a tournament. I don't advise that to anybody. I mean, you can, but go in with the expectation that you are going to get sharked pretty quickly. Sure enough, I jumped into that first game in the tournament in the Swiss round, and man, pantsed, I believe is the term. I did some very stupid things because I was pulling levers and see how the game works, and that opponent let me know. But then he took me aside and he showed me, he's like, hey, when you play again, pay attention to this, and he gave me this one-on-one tutorial and all the aspects and elements of this amazing system now. I was hooked. Boy, howdy was I hooked. And I played it for about 4 or 5 years. And then, like I said, back in 2013, I think it was right about now, early January, and we were socked in with the cold, and there was nothing to do, and it was a gloomy day. And I said, "Oh, I learned it this way, but I appreciate the aspects of YouTube, and I think this would be probably a helpful resource. So I literally just went through Jay Myers. He had a wonderful website set up where he broke down the rule book for the standard series and took players through it. And I said, well, you know what? I'll just take that framework and I'll do it in an explanation format. And so I recorded those 6 initial videos. I chopped them up and really meant to only do maybe 15, 20 minutes a piece. But as each one went along, by the 6th video, it was about an hour, because when you talk about flanks and retreats and things like that, you really want to make sure that you're explaining it well. And they're adorably crude. Boy, when I look at them now, and the promise is still out there that I'm going to go and do a Redux version of them, and I've been working on it, but it's to get it to the level of quality that I want is yeah, that's a lot of work. So, real world obligations are certainly keeping that from being released as quickly as I want. But all that being said, here are Roger and I, and we are now once again at the top of a new series, and this one is Stonewall's Last Battle, released in 1997 from what is now the defunct Avalon Hill, but it's a wholly owned subsidiary of Hasbro, so they are still existing games under that title, but the Avalon Hill that we know and love is no more. This title was released by Ed Beach, and as the story goes, I've recounted this, and I hope maybe Ed will set this record straight, maybe Joe will, is that right after, I think, Stonewall in the Valley came out, there was an Avalon Con, and Ed was there, and I think Joe was there, and they were just discussing, and he said, hey, how come you haven't done anything on the Chancellorsville campaign? And I believe as the response went, Joe said something like, well, I'm kind of busy right now. I think he was probably involved with his historical stuff with the 29th. So he said, why don't you do it? And Ed said, okay. And it was one of his early design credits, and he released it. It is a one map. What's wonderful about it is I think Avalon Hill, during the financial times around that, as they were sort of heading towards insolvency, they decided to utilize some equipment that they already had. So it is a one mapper. It takes place using some of the Stonewall Jackson's Way map. It's around Fredericksburg there. So if you've got a copy of it, then you do have something special. Very small footprint. And I'm actually zooming over to the part of it on the map here. If those of you not familiar, it literally takes part and parcel right around the easternmost parts of the Wilderness and Fredericksburg. We'll see that some of these scenarios are going to start literally on the Rappahannock River and all of that. So it's going to recreate some of the stuff that we've done with the Fredericksburg stuff from Burnside Takes Command. So if you've not watched that, go back and watch that. So it's very small. It's only, what, half a dozen scenarios? Let's see what we've got here. They are, let's see, we've got, 6 scenarios. One of them is the Chancellorsville campaign, and that campaign itself is only 10 turns. So based on the 70 turns that we just came out of, this is going to be like a blink and you miss it. So this is a wonderful one, I think, just for anyone getting into the series. Obviously, coming by it is probably pretty difficult, but with Vassal, you have the opportunity. This is a good starting point. It's a very small counter density, and a lot of these are what we would define now as set piece battles. But as you're going to see today, they have released a few things that utilize some of the pieces from this one. We're going to do one of them today. But this one reflects the Chancellorsville campaign, which is late April into early May. Roger, do you want to tell the folks at home a little bit about this one, or anybody out there in the room that want to chime in on it, the historical nature of this?
Yeah, I'll spend a little time on it. This is, as you mentioned, May 1863. Joseph Hooker is in command of the Army of the Potomac. He's replaced Ambrose Burnside, who rose above his level of competency. I guess I'll be polite about it. Hooker, interesting character. Lincoln will write a memo to him just before this that the Hooker will consider like a father writing a letter to his son, which I don't think is how Lincoln meant it. But Hooker's plan is he's going to, and I don't know if I'll try to highlight, is to sweep around Lee's left flank by crossing west of his position by taking advantage of these crossings here with half of his army. Because the problem that Burnside had is he couldn't figure out how to cross the Rappahannock River, and this was Hooker's solution. He knows that Lee is weak. Two of Lee's divisions, Hood and Pickett, are down in the Richmond area for supply reasons. They couldn't supply the Confederate Army here. The railroad simply couldn't do it. And Hooker is going to sweep in the early days of April. He's going to sweep this left flank and begin to march down the Germanna-Plank Road. And the Confederates, who had positions here in the Wilderness Church Chancellor area, will fall back because they're heavily outnumbered. And what's interesting is there's a story that General Meade, who I think anybody who knows a lot about history knows that he's typically, his nickname was the Snapping Turtle. He was typically not in a good mood, is waving his hat as he's riding down the Germanna-Plank Road that Hooker has won the battle. And then Meade gets orders to stop and fall back to Chancellorsville. And Hooker will dig in along the Germanna-Plank Road. And this is where Lee and Jackson will meet in this area, Tabernacle Church, and the decision will be made for Jackson to do his famous flank march. He'll march through the wilderness, go through the wilderness, which for people who have watched our videos, know how much I hate the wilderness. I've never figured it out. And he will attack the open flank and drive Hooker's army back to these fords here, where Hooker will dig in while he tells Sedgwick to break through the Fredericksburg line. Sedgwick will almost break through, but then he'll be forced back across this ford there. And Hooker will ultimately retreat back across the river. It is a short campaign. It is a very bloody campaign. It ends Hooker's career. He will get a big black mark. He'll ultimately be removed just before the Battle of Gettysburg. It's considered Lee's masterpiece. He's outnumbered, totally outsupplied, but he wins this great battle. And I think it'll be interesting to see if the Confederates can even hold on when we do the campaign game here, because it's going to be all the advantages that Hooker had, Union player will have. I think Mr. Beach tried very hard to build into the emulation some things to make it harder for the Confederates, but I have soloed this campaign game a couple of times. This is the very first game I got, Patrick, when you and I started playing, that I got on the used market, because it's just one of the more interesting battles of the war. And there's certainly a lot of excellent books about it. And it's just a fascinating battle because of all the moving parts. And we'll get a chance to kind of walk through all these parts, despite the short number of scenarios, because it was a quick campaign. Basically, from start to finish, 10 days is about right. That's my sort of thumbnail overview of the Chancellorsville battle/campaign.
And there are certainly, quote, legendary elements of this. From a historical perspective, there are some in American Civil War scholarship that consider the Chancellorsville is the high water mark. I guess this is the predecessor to the summer of 1863, where Lee was at his apex, and it was the successes here that said, well, let's try to invade the North again, and he headed for the Potomac at that point to go into Pennsylvania. So we are kind of seeing everything up to this point has been an ascendant Confederacy in the scholarship, and our job, I guess, as we're playing through this, is to see if we can replicate that, or as Roger said, to emulate that with the way that Ed has designed this one. So we're going to see that, because there's all those little anecdotal elements you hear about. Lee split his forces at Fredericksburg and sent half of them this way, and then he split them again, and so they're outnumbered, they're outgunned, and they're approaching and surrounding with that flank march through here all the way. And we've seen now, this is the I think third or fourth time we have been not only in the wilderness, but so much is dependent on these plank roads, the Orange Plank Road, the Germana Plank Road. For those of you who are not familiar with the muddiness of some of these country roads that are already probably pretty narrow through these wilderness spaces, but because the rains make them so muddy, that was the going back into the 1700s, they would go and they would lay planks, rough hewn planks down these roads to try to make it easier for traversing down the road for commerce, for just the civilian population. And we have the Wilderness Church, the Chancellorsville, the tavern are the big points of, I guess, central civilian life here in the edge of the wilderness. So there's your lifeline are these plank roads, and to utilize them in these military campaigns is pretty stunning. They are represented here as pikes, which we see help in campaigns when you have rain turns. That gives you a little bit of flexibility on your movement, but they're there for a reason. And historically, we've seen now in the overland campaign coming out of the wilderness, in this going in and around and through, so much of it depends on how well the army leaders could utilize these existing bits of transportation infrastructure. So what we're going to do today, this is our first, and thank you very much, Roger. That was an excellent recap.
It's very high level, extremely high level. And I know people are going to say, but you didn't say Stonewall Jackson got killed. Yes, he got shot by his own troops. And Stewart was given command of, yeah, as you pointed out, he split his command into that, what had been Stonewall Jackson's command. So that was an important point that I didn't bring out. But yeah, and your point about rain, I just want to reiterate that. That also makes these, and the game mechanic is going to cause these fords to become unfordable, which will be interesting to see how that plays out, which for us is a random event.
Exactly. So what we're going to do, as we do at the top of every one of these, we're going to go through all the basic scenarios first. And as we pointed out, there are 5 basic scenarios in the game, and then we'll do the full campaign. We're going to play each of them through twice. With this one, it's a one-turner to start, so we're going to have the 2 chances. We're going to encapsulate all of them here in probably like 20 minutes each, because they're going to come down to a few die rolls. And Roger and I played pretty briskly now, so we'll do the 2 Salem churches, which is the first one. We will set that up a little bit later. But before that, we actually have a slight predecessor to this, which is Kelly's Ford, which was released in the General Magazine probably around 1998, 99, I'm guessing. And this is the first hits free, kid, right? This is you want to show your buddy some element of the great campaigns, and you don't know how to do it. But this is simplicity itself, because the Kelly's Ford scenario, I'm going to pull it up here so everyone can see it. This was designed by Trevor Bender. It is meant to just be simulating the small cavalry skirmishes that occurred in the effort by the Union to not only promote and improve their overall cavalry strength, but to take it to Fitzhugh Lee in this case, but also with Jeb Stuart down there. So what you're attempting to do, and there's no leadership yet on the Union side, so we're going to see the opportunity to move some cavalry units. There's only 3 of them on the Union side, to take a couple of key locations, and it's meant to teach you how the basic mechanics of cavalry move, and to give you some random events as you're trying to cross the prominent feature, which is Kelly's Ford here at Mount Holly Church in Kellyville. So these 3 cavalry units are going to try to move through here. And there's 1 point available for getting a Union unit at Elkwood, and 2 points at the end of the game for Culpeper. But there's also the hindered river crossing because of the rifle pits that are existing here. As you attempt to cross, you're going to face some resistance from the Confederate forces that are dug in along the river. So we're going to see how that works, whether you get through or you're opposed and pushed back. And if a Union unit enters Elkwood, then they get a point. They have to occupy Culpeper at the end of
I
the
call
game.
it
That's
Pepper
it.
Kid.
Yeah. So one
And
is
this is a
just
one
enter.
turner, so
Right. So touching Elkwood gets you a point, but occupying Culpeper gets you 2 points. And then, as we're used to, +1 and -1. So in favor of the Union if they score manpower losses on the Confederates, that's +1, and -1 if the cavalry suffer. And you can see that all they got to do is get a point. 1 point, and you can get a Union marginal victory on this one. So I've played this one a bunch because I used this to teach friends how to do some cavalry play. Roger, have you had some? I presume you have experience with it. What are your thoughts on it?
I never played this. I just it popped into my mind that this existed, and you can download this scenario from the MMP website if you go to the resources GCAW downloads page. It exists. The Union units are actually, just from a historical perspective, the Greg counter is actually commanded by Duffy. The Sergeant counter is actually by Reno, and yeah, one other unit way up here to the which you may not be aware of, to the north, uh, is the flank guard. Those units are all sort of, the counters weren't in the game. Trevor just made this up. We didn't make it up, but he based it on what he had available. The other point is, as a teaching scenario, he stripped out the artillery. Of course, he did this back when the scoring with artillery was very different for the modifier. So we probably could have kept the artillery in there, but I'd stripped the artillery out.
Yeah, that's good. The other special rules on this one is neither side can use these two fords because I guess presumably the rain has swollen the fords. So downstream here you cannot cross. So Kellyville is the ultimate. So I'm compelled to come here.
You're
Yeah.
compelled to go through there and roll. There's a cavalry charge rule. If a cavalry unit does not begin its activation in an enemy ZOC, it may declare a cavalry charge. If it attacks a unit during that activation, that's a +1 to the attacker's die roll. Both the defender and the attacker must be either clear and or rolling terrain. So the +1, and then you have to apply your normal modifier that you would have got whether you're making a normal or a prepared assault or a hasty. So the +1 may offset your hasty, for example.
Oh, of course,
Or
right. Yeah.
or you may get a +2 if you can pull off a prepared attack. So that's a cavalry charge, and you do expend all your movement points that you have left when you do that.
So I think the way we're going to do this, as is pretty standard for us, we'll play through this twice. I will start the first game as the Union, so I will have the dubious honor of taking these three cavalry and trying to cross Kelly Ford. As we normally do, I will take the Union for this first foray. And even though I have no leadership for my cavalry, that means I'm going to be doing lots of little individual rolls. For those of you who are not familiar, if this is your first ever encounter with the Great Campaign stuff and you're confused by what's going on, stop it here, go back and watch either the Cedar Mountain that Roger referenced and watch how I instruct him, even though he needed no instruction, how to play through some of that stuff, or go back and watch the original 6 tutorial videos that will show you how a lot of these things work. What we will do, and apologies for our experienced viewers, we are going to slow it down and we will tell everybody exactly what we're doing and what we're rolling, and we'll just take it in baby steps, and then everybody's on the same page. We'll do that for at least the first playthrough here, and the second one, and then through the Salem church stuff. I think you guys will get the picture. So, are you ready, Roger?
I'm ready.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, we had some technical snafus, but I think we pushed through it. All right. I'm gonna just once again reference. I'm gonna pull up the Kelly's Ford stuff here. So we're only doing the action cycle for this one turn. There's no leader transfers. Perfect. I'm gonna get the first 2 initiatives, and then we will go into regular ones for 3 and on. And then it's just over when we hit all fatigue level 4, which is terrible. Or we both pass. And Roger already pointed out the special SLB Brandy Station cavalry charge, which I hope I don't have to use, but maybe. We have no artillery, that's good, and we can't do the 2 mountain run fords, and I can only cross at those 2. So All right. Well, here's for all the marbles, right?
Yep.
Gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's activate Sergeant. And let's see what he gets. I get no modifier because they are Union Cavalry. And here is the 2 die 6 roll. Wow! It's 12!
You called it.
I pointed! I pointed pointed to the right field stand.
Point to that.
All right. Well, that's quite a bit of good luck for the Union. So I think it's probably prudent to try a probe here and see if Sergeant can get across the ford. Let's see what his good luck gets him. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm expending 1 movement point for every road that I follow. And I have hit the ford, so I pull up my little chart here, and I have a hindered river crossing table. Do not get the +2 roll because I have not previously attempted it. And so I'm trying to get a 7 or better. Single die. All right. Well, so clearly this one is meant to fail because there's no way I can get a +2. So here's the roll, and hopefully not getting the worst. It's a 3, and as we see, a 3 is opposed. I cross, but I receive a fatigue and end result. So he's going to get 1, 2 fatigues, but he does make it across the river. And that ends my action. I get the second free initiative. So now is the time to make Sergeant move, and see if we can at least get to Elkwood. So I will take him to fatigue level 4. Here is his roll of 2d6. He is full of vinegar. But I have an extended march roll because we're at fatigue level 4. So it will be a +1 because I'm going to level 4, and +1 because he is a Union unit. And you know what? I'm good if he does, but I don't want to put that out there. So here's the roll +2. Oh, yes. Very tired. So he will flip. There you go. And he has 11 movement. So he will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he gets the point for that, so I will give myself a victory point for just touching Elwood. 1 victory point. Hooray! And then, being prudent like he is, he's going to go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 across the river. So those are my 2 free initiatives. Now we will roll the initiative die, and the way we always do this is I'll roll 2d6, and the left die will be a Union, and the right die will be a Confederate. So here's the next initiative, and it's mine. 6-1, baby. Okay, now, how do we approach Culpeper? Or do I just pass, take the win with 1 victory point? So this is the gamey aspect of the game, is I have the 1 victory point that I need for a marginal. Do I put myself into a position to get more points or not? I think I will try to at least pad it up a little bit. So we'll see how far Macintosh can go. Fatigue level 1. Here's his movement. He goes 9. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 4. He will now roll at a +2 on this. So here's a roll. And it's not. He gets a 5 this time, which is slowed. I can get across, but I'm stopped there. Okay. Initiative, and that's Roger's initiative as the Confederates.
Okay. I'll take F. Lee. I can't use Stewart for leader activation by. So he goes fatigue 1, 2 dice, +1 movement for F. Lee. So he can go 9. So as you pointed out, you don't have to do anything now. You can just kind of stop right there. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 to there. Initiative. Ties. This or Eastern Theater. So I get the tie. So I have the 3rd Virginia, and Stewart has to stay with 3rd Virginia by rule for this. 2 dice +1. I don't get the leader activation bonus. He can go 5. He can only go 6. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to there. initiative. That's yours.
Okay. Well, then I will have Greg see if he can come up and support. So he will get a movement of. Oh, he's got the slows. So he goes 1, 2, and 3 to there. Initiative. Mine again. Another 6-1. Greg will go to 2. His movement is 5. So he will go 1 to there. And now I get +4 because I've had 2 previous attempts. And I'm facing stiff resistance, so a 6 this time is hindered. I only get an F result, but I can continue moving. So he will get to go to that. Did 1, 2, 3 to there. And I think I'm just going to stop there. I want Roger to have to fight my 4 manpower. So we'll stop there and see what happens. Initiative.
So that's mine, eh? Take F. Lee. 2 dice +1. So he gets 13. And you're in Sergeant's in rough terrain there.
So that would preclude a cavalry charge now, wouldn't it?
Yep. Includes a cavalry charge. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has 6 movement points remaining, which is enough on cavalry to get a normal attack. So the type modifier is a 0. The tactical modifier for F. Lee is the middle number for Sergeant, and in these all-in-one counters that Alberto provides us, it's the second, the green number is the tactical. So he's a 2. They're both 2, so the tactical is a 0. Terrain, there's no creek, there's no bridge, there's no river, so the terrain is also a 0. Got a lot of zeros here. We have no artillery, so artillery is going to be a 0. I do have a ratio, 2 to 1, so the ratio gives me a +1, and there is no flank at all. I have no flank. I won't even bother to even go over that unless you.
No, that's fine.
I,
Yeah,
I have,
we don't need to because I mean very quickly he's got 1, 2, 3, and then 4, but this one here will come off. So there is no
yeah.
flank for the Confederates.
So the final I see is a +1 attack.
I concur. +1.
Okay, so +1 attack. I'll roll a die, and then Patrick, this will be by assault roll. So the final result here is a 5.
I will roll my defense roll as a 1. Hello and welcome to the Great Campaigns series.
But I don't get the manpower loss, which is what I needed.
Right. So it is a net of 4, right? And so they become demoralized, and they're already completely and totally fatigued out. So that's not a huge deal for me. So they have to go 1 away, 2 away. They cannot cross here, so they have to go 3 away that way, and then 4 away because that's a major river. So, and then I could do 5 and 6. I think I will do 5 and 6 to there. Put me behind that creek.
And +4 for me is a fatigue. And I'll do the advance into Mount Holly Church. Okay, so now we're ready for the next initiative. That's mine. So I'll have 3rd Virginia. Again, I can't use leader activation. He's at fatigue 2. Here's his movement +1. He has 6, 7 movement points. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and stop there. Initiative. That's fine. I'll take them again to fatigue 3. Here's their movement. They have 6, 7 movement points. I was hoping for a slightly higher die roll than that. A lot higher than that, actually. And here's their extend, and for the Confederate cavalry, it's just a straight die roll going to fatigue 3. So 1 through 5, no effect. 6, he'll flip. And he flips.
We are honored to show everyone all of the tropes that will happen over and over again here.
I guess I don't really have a lot of choice here. I have 7 movement points. I'm going to go from here to here. That's 3 movement points because I don't have a road. I'm going clear terrain to clear terrain. So I've used 3 to do that. I have 4 remaining, which is enough for me to make a normal attack on Greg. So the type's going to be a 0. Now my tactical, Stuart's tactical is a 3 to Greg's 2, so I do get a tactical of +1. I do have this is going to be an interesting flank calculation. I have all 6 hexes covered. 2 are going to come off, but it's cavalry, so the flank +2 gets reduced to a +1 final flank.
That's what I show.
Now I'm charging into clear terrain. Brandy Station charge. I get a charge bonus of +1.
Did you have to expend a certain number on that, or is it just declaring the charge?
It's just declaring the charge. I don't have. It uses up all my remaining points, but
Gotcha.
I've used up all my remaining movement points to get there. So,
gotcha. So I see you're 3 up now, but then
it's going to get really ugly very quickly because I flipped. It's 1/2 to 4, which is 8. So it's going to be a minus of -7.
Correct.
Ratio. So this is literally, don't do this at home. This
seems like a thing he would do. Yeah.
I have to try to somehow get a loss here, right? I mean, I don't really have any option. So I have to hopefully get a +2 result out of this. So I see 3 up and 7 down for a final of a -4.
-4.
Pretty unlikely. And it's a 1 result.
So it's a 1. And
no, actually, there never would have been a chance.
Right. Yeah. That's okay, but hey, we're showing them. Showing them what not to do sometimes. That flipping was incredibly significant for this, the extended march roll.
Yeah.
Here's my defense, and it's a 4, so it's a net -3 for Roger. And on the combat chart,
1D for me.
So he would lose 1. So that's helpful for me because that gives me another victory point. So CSA, so that puts me at potentially 2. And the effect on that for me was nothing.
And Stuart will join F. Lee.
Yeah, so Stuart would have to transfer to the next closest subordinate unit, which he's done. And then you'll roll the next initiative.
Which is yours.
And
I'm
in a really good spot here. So Macintosh is going to go to 2, and he's going to roll movement of go Macintosh, go! So he goes 1, 2 because I'm leaving Stuart's Zoc. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, so tantalizingly close. All right, initiative. That's yours. Can you do something about it?
I've got 1 movement. I've got 1 activation left. So we'll have Stuart activate. No, F. Lee's just going to activate on his own. Here's his movement. Is 10. Here's his extend. Now it's +1. Since he's gone to fatigue 4, Confederate cavalry get a +1 to their extended march roll.
And he also gets he's 11 movement because he's CSA.
Oh, 11. Well, he's going to flip again. Which is just terrible. It's like, that's his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he can't get there, so he's just going to have to attack Greg. Hope for the best here. So that's going to be, the type will be a +1. The tactical will be a +1. The ratio now, instead of being even, is now a -1. I don't get the cavalry charge because I'm next to you in the Zoc. I don't even by rule. I don't think I can't like march back and then back. I can't fall back and then charge.
Right.
This is I started in the Zoc, so the ratio is a -1, and I'm attacking across a ford, so that's going to be the river makes another -2.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have 2 up and 3 down for a final of a -1. Again, probably not to do this at home, but this scenario kind of forces once you got the Elkwood, I was kind of in a situation where I had to try to get a manpower loss on you. And just bad extend isos. Here's my attack roll. -1 is a 0.
Ooh, okay. Big chance to wipe out Stewart right here. Here we go. Oh, there's the 1-6
Oh.
split. So,
No, it's worse than a 1-6 split. It's a 0.
Zero, right? Wow.
The
So -6 for the Confederates. 2D. Yeah,
so
-2.
Stewart's all by himself.
Yeah,
So
and so he's captured, right, and sent to some prison ship in on the Lake Erie or something, and that's how that would end. I will do the well. Go ahead and roll the next initiative. He can't. He is compelled to pass, so I will take McIntosh to 3. Oh, and I didn't even take my. Let's do the CSA losses to 3. And then McIntosh goes to 3. Here's his movement. He's got plenty. Here's his extended march of +1 now because he's Union. He's okay. And he will occupy Culpeper officially to get another 2 victory points. I will do the next initiative. That's Rogers. He will compel to pass. And I will...
escapes. He makes a run for it.
Here he goes. He's getting back to the line. And so then the final score for this one would be I get 3 losses on him. So that's 3. And then I got the 3 victory points for both of those. So that's 6 VP, which, if we look at the chart here, is a Union decisive victory.
Decisive victory.
So that's how
Congratulations, sir.
Well, geez Louise, man, I'll just thank the die roller again, It's not good tactics. The only thing I felt like in this situation, I was glad that I literally bridged the 2 bodies here. But when you got that fantastic roll with Fitzhugh Lee to come up here and then just try to, the saving grace here was that he's in rough terrain. So I kind of figured that you might do that, and I just managed to avoid the charging here. But setting up that big surround is definitely something that the cavalry want to consider here. So we're going to reset this one, and I will take the Confederates. Roger will take the Union. So hold tight. We'll be right back. And we have swapped sides now. It's Roger's turn to take on the Union cavalry and see how he does with them. So you get the first 2 free initiatives. Let's see how you do.
I'll start off with Greg.
Ooh,
I'll do something
he's
different.
Lucky Greg.
He gets 11.
Man, these guys want to go.
Go 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's gonna roll a single die, no modifiers. So it's a 6, which is unit crosses, receives an F result, but may continue moving. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So he gets an F. 5. So he just keeps going.
Yeah,
1,
he
2,
can
3, 4,
continue.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I get my 1 point. Always like to do things differently. He'll go 11 to there. Okay. Back to there.
You get the next one.
We'll use McIntosh. He gets 9. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I get a +2 modifier. It's a 4 contested. Unit crosses but receives an F and E result. So he goes to fatigue 2.
Is that a big F or a little F?
It says unit crosses a small F and E result.
Gotcha.
Because it's a +2, right? Because I've already
right.
And now I do regular initiative. Okay. That's Confederate.
All right, here we go. Let's see what F. Lee can do. So he will activate, and here is his movement +1. So he can go 8, so he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We'll see if we can stick to Greg there. Initiative. That's yours.
Let me bring up Macintosh. Teak 3. Here's his movement. 10 movement points. Here's his extend, and it's +1, we've determined, correct?
Yes.
Man, my ability to go disorganized on this is just getting really annoying. I've failed every dice roll on this. So he does have 10 movement points. He'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Initiative, that's yours.
I will have the 3rd Virginia activate. Here's a movement. It's an 8 also. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 there. Initiative. That's yours.
Sergeant, he goes 9. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 5 remaining. Here's his +4 now to this roll. It's a 5. Unit crosses but receives an E result. So he can only go to there, but he has crossed the river. Initiative? That's yours.
All right, let's see what the 3rd Virginia can do. They're going to go movement 10.
10.
I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 4 remaining, which is enough for a normal attack. But we would do a cavalry charge here. And you've got 3 and I've got 1, so I think that's probably prudent to at least try. So we're going to do a normal attack, which is +0. We'll do the special cavalry charge, which is +1. We will do a tactical of +1 because Stuart's there. And we're going to do we have a full flank on these guys. We got all 6 hexes covered all the way around, which is a +4 normally, but it's cavalry on cavalry, so it's a +2 reduced. And then the negatives, which is the unfortunate part of every calculation, is I've got 1, and Roger's got 3 there, so it's a 1 to 3 attack, which is a -2. So that offsets that flanking, but that's okay. I have a net of +2 to my attack. Is that what you see?
Yes.
Okay.
+2.
Here's a +2 attack charge. There's a 6. And
5.
+3. Not enough for a manpower loss, but yeah, unfortunately he's got pathways away in both directions. That is a +3 on 3. We both I'm fatigued out, and you are a D on both of those. So we shut both of them down.
So he's going to flip to disorganize. And like you said, he's got retreat paths. So he could go either way to start. So following the chart, I think I will go, if I go this way to start, that's further away by road in Azak, which is priority number 4. Priority number 2 does not follow road, pike trail, or railroad, but it is more distant. It'd be that one. So that's 2.
Or that's the minimum you need to do. You may go 2 more if you wish.
Yeah, and I will go one more to there. I'll stop there. So well done, sir.
Well, thank you. And
Closed them down.
we will take the hex. Just kind of block that road there a little bit. Here's the next initiative. That is mine. Now this is the sticky wicket of it. How do you get 2 on 2? I have to do something because if I pass, you're gonna win. And I don't have another cavalry, but you do have another cavalry way up there at Nola, which I did not use, but you might.
You didn't need to.
I didn't
There
need
wasn't anything left for him to do.
to. I think probably the best bet here, because you have to come down to Kelly's Ford either way. So we will see F. Lee, and we'll just go to it. Here's a movement. He's got 8, so he'll go 1, 2.
Yep.
Next in it, that's yours.
Yeah, I guess from a game perspective, I'll take Sergeant to Fatigue 2. Here's his movement. 6. So to win the game, I go back there and stop. Initiative. That's yours.
No, that was Wascally Sergeant. Yes, so I think I am compelled to go to fatigue level 3. Here's movement. 7. Here's extended march. Straight. He's okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to there. Initiative. That's mine. Last gasp here. We'll take F. Lee to 4.
I'm in rough terrain, so you won't get the charge.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
If you wanted to go a different route, or
No, that's right because I'd still have to. Yeah, I'm trying to get
or
around.
you could, or
I'm
you
trying to get around the creek here. So,
could- okay.
here's movement. That's fantastic movement. He gets 11, which is exactly what I need. Now, the all important extended march roll +1. Whoo! So he will go 3 to here. And he has 8 left, which is enough for a prepared attack. So I will spend all of my final 8 for prepared attack on Sergeant. And really, it's just a +1. We're even on everything else. And flank-wise, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't have anything else. So there's no flank. So just a +1 attack. Is that what you see?
Yep, +1.
All right, here's +1. Come on, 6. It's 5. Oh! Shut down. Okay. So it's just DD, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yes, DD. Okay. Well, that takes both of my out of the mix, and I flip. And Roger could potentially grab that Culpepper now, but he has to come through Kelly Ford. So I roll the next initiative. It's mine. I am compelled to pass. So
I'll just pass with my 1 point.
pass with your 1 point. Look at you. So yes, on this one it's a Union marginal. So if we were playing this in tournament play, whatever, they would take both sides specific points, see who had the better one. I had a Union decisive, Roger had a Union marginal. So on the whole, I won the scenario. But you've now seen both sides play it and how quickly one turn scenarios go, how dice dependent they are, and how variable the tactics can be. So now that you've played this twice, what do you think of it?
I think it's probably a nice, like you mentioned, a nice little learning scenario for people wanting to learn cavalry tactics, and probably won't play it again.
Probably not, right? I think,
yeah, it says dice dependent. And
well, I found it cool that both of us, as the Confederates, attempted to flank around and utilize something. You flanked around through here. I came through here. So yeah, if you get that one extra movement point, which is usually pretty handy over the course of 3 or 4 fatigues, so that's potentially 4 hexes you're getting to move along a road. F. Lee got exactly what he needed to avoid attacking from here to get the -1 on that. That could have been even worse because that would have been a -2, and a -2 was getting close to a 1D for me. So I might have almost given you another point if. I mean, obviously you got the best you could get with a 6, but if I had made it any worse on my attack, then that would have been problematic. But yeah, that's it is what it is. But it's a great little
Yeah.
intro, and
Yeah.
it sets the stage because the date on this, what was the date on Kelly's Ford, was March
This was
17th.
March 17th. March 17th. Yeah, this was fought because Hooker needed to get information about where the Confederates were. Because what's going to happen next is Stoneman is going to take his cavalry corps and attempt a far larger movement, which ends up being this is when Lincoln gets, sees the initial plan and goes, yeah, this ain't going to work. It doesn't. Stoneman doesn't go anywhere. It starts to rain and they just get stuck in the mud. And Lincoln just kind of shakes his head.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Somebody send me somebody that can help. Okay, so I'm going to pause it here, and then we're going to set up the first scenario from the Chancellorsville campaign, which is Salem Church. It's another very quick one, but we will go through the scenario information on that, and then we will play that pretty quickly as well. It's also a one-turner, so at least that will get you some infantry action today, and then we will discuss that, and we'll be right back. We are ready now to start the first of our basic scenarios. This is scenario number 1. I'm pulling up the information here. I'm going to let Roger talk about it and go through it. This is the one-turn scenario from the opening day of the Chancellorsville campaign, May 3rd, 1863. It is called Salem Church. So, Roger, take it away, sir.
Yeah, this scenario simulates Sedgwick's attack out of Fredericksburg. The hope was to push Early back and connect up Sedgwick with Hooker's force, which is over here in the Chancellorsville area, over there. The idea being now that Sedgwick will close in on the rear of the Confederate forces. There are some special rules. Player, which will Patrick, will win the first initiative, and the state may continue until the Union player launches his first attack or moves a unit north of the Rappahannock, which is kind of interesting. In other words, if he tries to flank my position by swinging around it, he will maintain the initiative.
Now, this begs a very good question because I read this two different ways. Now, is that as soon as I move across north, or if I move any unit that's north of? I presume they're one and the same, but if I activate how as well, that would also trigger the beginning of the initiative phase. Is that the way you read that?
I would say it's yes. If you move how, that will trigger
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
regular initiative.
It's the broad
Um,
interpretation of it because it's move or move across, either one. Yes.
I have a lot of movement restrictions. McClaws, who is back, who is my big fella back there, where it says not released, he can't activate it until the Union breaks through at Fredericksburg. That takes a full Confederate initiative. It's accomplished. I don't have to move any units. I simply have to give up an initiative, and I must wait until 2 of the 6 units that start near Fredericksburg have been displaced from their setup hexes. And I may not voluntarily move a unit north of the Rappahannock. They can get retreated north, but then they have to come back. Or they may move normally. We do have substitute units that we can use. And for Gibbon's division is from the 2nd Corps and cannot be activated as part of a corps activation by Sedgwick. And you have a couple bridges that have already been placed here by Alberta. The victory points are fairly straightforward. You get +8 if you occupy Tabernacle Church, +5 if you occupy Salem Church, and +2 if you occupy Snowden, Smithfield, Hamilton's Crossing, Fredericksburg. So that's for each one. So you start off with 2 points.
Well, hurrah!
and it's control, so it's the last unit to occupy the hex.
Right.
So you don't have to maintain, you don't have to keep a unit there. You can simply move past it.
Right.
And we have +1, -1, and you're trying to get to 9 points, which means you just need 7 more points
Right.
to win this scenario.
So
And this is a one turner.
the big enchilada is Tabernacle Church, trying to push as far west as possible. If you get that, if you hold it along with your Fredericksburg stuff, you're probably pretty good. So or it's 8+2. Or 8
Yep.
plus, yeah. So that gets you in the 10 range, but there are, without a doubt, just looking at this, I've got three major divisions, well, four divisions that have lots of manpower, which means it
Yes.
cuts both ways. They're they're bulky for the purposes of attacking, but that means that there's a lot of casualties in friendly, not friendly. I call it friendly fire, but it's just through the nature of them being involved. They're so large on our combat charts. We look here. So even the smallest one is an 8, so he's already on this third column of 7 to 11. So I have to win by a margin of 3 to prevent any friendly fire, any casualties in that large group. And it gets even worse when you have Brooks is at 14, Howe's at 13, and who else we got over here? We got who's under Sedgwick? Newton is at 18. Oh my gosh! So
18.
all of them are on that fourth column, which means you have to win by a margin of 5. Otherwise, you have to count for the fact that you're probably going to suffer or offset whatever you cause on the opponent. That's where we get into the gaming science of this, of pay attention to that CRT, because it's very sanguine, as I like to call it. It's going to cause problems for everybody in these mass set piece battles where everybody's just, let's attack. Well, just hold on a second there, little shaver. Let's think this all the way through. So, what are your opening thoughts on this one?
We both have to remember we have subs available, and you definitely have some options here. And I don't see anything that says no leader transfer, so I assume we'll start with leader transfer,
Right.
which might be an interesting how that turns out. I'm trying to see early as division leader, so I don't see anything that says he cannot. Assume he's limited to only his division, which would be Hoke, Smith, Gordon, and Hayes.
Right.
So he can't control these various brigades of Longstreet's corps.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting. Because I can see that's the weak link up there. So,
Right.
yeah.
So I looked at this about a week and a half ago just to kind of think, this I am compelled to attack. I will be attacking right out of the gate. We're just trying to push you away, or at least degrade your ability to counterattack. So probably not any surprises here. I'm going to try to make the best attacks I can, but I'm already prescripted in things. So we will start, as we do each time, with a leader transfer, because there's no other special things for this. I, as the Union, go first, and I will decline to move Sedgwick. So I will leave him there. Would you like to move early?
Yeah, I believe I will move him up to Hayes. I think I need that tactical.
I had a feeling.
I
Yeah,
have a feeling that's where you're going to start.
that is
So
certainly a possibility.
Okay.
All
And
right.
you get the initiative
Until I move somebody on the north side. All right. Well.
or you launch an attack. So
Oh, okay.
first attack,
Huh. Well.
so you could do some reorganization there if you want.
Yes. I'm going to move Newton, and I'm going to drop off a sub. Wow, this is weird to say this in a basic scenario. So I'll bring out sub 1, and I'm going to give him 6 manpower. 1 piece of artillery with him. There we go. And he will be in part of Sedgwick's corps. There we go. And then Newton will come down, and that means I am activating Newton to march. He's activated to march with a +1 movement, and that's so good. So he will just go simply to there.
Right.
Tell me if you've heard this one before. Initiative. Oh, I get the free initiative. Look at that. Free initiative.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will attempt an assault on Wilcox.
No, not Wilcox.
Wilcox! So here is the assault attempt. First we go Newton goes to 2. And obviously I cannot activate Gibbon, and I don't have an army leader, so it's just going to be Sedgwick. So here is the assault attempt. And I compare that 5 to his command number, which is a 6, which means I can get 1 unit to participate. Hurrah! So he will be attacking Wilcox here. And it is now a +1 for the assault. It is a +1 for a tactical of 3 to 2. And then I have a ratio of 4 to 1, so I get a +3 on that for ratio. And then the artillery, I have 2 pieces, you have 1 piece of artillery, so that is a -1 artillery in rolling, because the differential is that. Flank-wise, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 4 hexes covered, so there is no flank. So I see a total of 5 up and 1 down for a +4 attack. Do you concur?
That is what I see as well, yes.
Okay, here is a +4 attack. That is no guarantee in the Great Campaign system, folks. So this is what we would like to call your best attack or your best possibility. But here's the roll of +4. Hey, that's a fantastic attack. I'm a genius. That's a 10. And
Well, almost.
Almost. He got a 5, so that's a net +5 in my favor, which is enough to score a manpower loss on Wilcox. So when we look at the chart, +5, and I have 12, which is an end action for me. And Roger has received, he has 3, right? So it's 1 DR. So I score 1 manpower loss on Roger.
Pick up 3 fatigues. And this was a large D.
Yes.
R.
Yep.
So I disorganized and I'm routed, which means I have to retreat 4 to 6 hexes. Looking at our retreat chart, I have further away by road, not in a ZOC. Further away by road, not in a ZOC. Further away by road, not in a ZOC. That's 3. And it's 4 to there, and I'll stop there. But you have the hex.
I do. I will take the hex in the advance, and now we will begin our normal initiative process. So I will roll the next initiative, and it's mine once again. I think I need to press it, so I'm going to activate Newton to march. And so here is his movement of +1. It's a 4. Here's an extended march of +1 because he's Union. He's all right. So I think probably the best thing to do is try to get 1, 2, 3, and 4 to Banks's Ford. See if we can't get into range here. Initiative, that is yours, sir.
So this is now. What do I do? So you've turned that flank for sure. You're still at 12. I think I've got to use my initiative to
Release the McClaws.
alert my claws. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. The danger here is that you've got early in a potential.
He's definitely pinched.
But, or you can take Tabernacle Church or Salem Church. So, Fatables, I'm gambling on getting the next initiative, obviously, which I get. All ties, Eastern Theater go to the Confederacy. So I'll activate my claws for movement. Here's his movement roll. He only gets 3 movement points. Dang, man alive. Here's his extended march. Now he's a straight up, no modifiers. He's okay. 1, 2, I'll go 3. I won't drop off a sub. I thought about dropping off a sub, but I think that's the best I can do there. Initiative. That's mine. Okay. Activate haze for movement. That's going to be 1, 2 to there. But I've moved Zoc to Zoc. So I cannot attack on the march, if I believe I've got that rule in my head correctly.
You are correct, sir.
So, but I've got him out from that significant issue, but I've given you Snowden probably with Gibbon. Okay, so let's go ahead and do initiative. That's yours.
I will take the opportunity to grab Snowden. So we'll have Gibbon go to 2, or Gibbon will go to 1. Here is his movement, self-activating, just straight. And he does exactly what we hope. He goes there. So we will take control of that.
That's worth another 2 points.
That is.
And you don't have to maintain possession, you just have to move through it.
Okay. So that is initiative. That's yours.
I'll activate McClaws for movement. 7 movement points. Here's his extend. Now it's +1 for Confederate going to fatigue 3 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
So he's okay. And he's going to make a prepared attack on Sedgwick. So he'll have 3 movement points remaining. So the type is a +1. Tactical is 3 to 3, which is even. I have 2 pieces of artillery to your 2 pieces of in rough terrain, which is going to be a die roll for you if you want to use your artillery.
Do want to attempt. So let's see if we've unlimbered them. On an even roll, they will be used. They are used.
Used. So the artillery balances off the type as -1. There's no creek or river, so there's no terrain feature. The flank, I have 5 hexes covered. 2, 3, 4, 5. None drop off because in Stonewall, there's a special rule for Woodzock is that I do maintain control of 3927, despite the fact I don't have a road. So my flank is a +2 because I have 5 hexes covered. And unfortunately, you got the artillery roll because I was hoping for a +3 attack. But what I see now is a final of a +2 attack.
That is what I see.
So it's +2, and it's a 5.
Okay. And here is defense. Ah, it's a 6.
It's a 6,
right.
-1 result.
-1 on 12 or 13. So
So
you're
1D
going to
for
score
me.
1, and I am just fatigued out. So
Use a manpower.
Newton's not going anywhere, but he's still in good order.
I'm disorganized, and you're not even disorganized, which is
No.
so at least hoping to get that out of the way. But at least you're not going to do anything else. But now my losses are 2, and you now have 4 potential VP points. So you have 6 points total of the 9 that you need.
Right.
So I'll roll initiative again. That's yours. But Cedric is way out of range.
He's way out of range.
I guess you can move him to sub-1, can't you? He can't get to sub-1. No, he can't.
I can't because of your Zoc, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where the shuttling comes around. So we're going to activate Hal. And Hal is going to move 3. So he'll go 1, 2, and 3. Still not quite in range. Initiative. That's mine again. Hal will go to 2 and march. He gets 5 this time. We'll have Hal go 1, 2, 3, and 4 to there. Initiative. That's mine. Okay. I think we'll have Sedgwick activate Howe to 3. Here is his movement of +1. That's a very nice movement. He will transfer to Howe, because I have to declare that first. And then here is the extended march roll of +1. Oh no! Disaster! He
Helps
flips.
some.
It does. It does. All right. Well, a little bit. We will attempt a prepared attack on early. So we're going to have a +1 prepared. We have even tactical. I have a ratio now of just 2 to 1 instead of 4 to 1. That's +1. And let's see, I have 3 pieces of artillery. You have 1, so I have 2 more than you, which is enough to cover the artillery.
Yep.
And then
I have +2.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes covered, but the 18 Mississippi is going to uncover that in the second step. So I have a +1 final flank. And that's all I see. I see a +3 attack.
Yep, that's what I see as well.
Okay, here is a +3 attack on early. Wow! 6s across the board, baby. Huh? Okay.
Oh,
Look at
well,
that. But it shines on you. +3. All right, +3, and we both, let's see. I have
+3 on 4 is a DR for me.
And for me is a +3 is save the manpower loss, so it's just fatigued out. So he's done. Okay.
He's gonna pick up 3 fatigues. So he's done for the day, and he's gonna flip. No manpower loss, at least. He gets a small R result, so he can retreat 2 to 4 hexes. He has to retreat further away. You know what? I'll just retreat him to there. He'll stop there.
Now, since we're teaching everybody here, would it be more prudent to put him here? That way he's within 3 of Hoke.
I thought about that.
Okay.
He's done for the day there. If I put him here, well, maybe that does make more sense. Yeah, I think that does make more sense. I think that's a good suggestion to keep him within 3 of Hoke.
Okay. I will certainly take the hex.
Yep.
And so I suffered a fatigue, which is anything other than, yeah, so I cannot expend the remainder of the points that I had. So that's fine. He's just going to advance into the hex.
Now, you would have had to have stopped there anyway by going into my Zoc,
into your
correct?
Zoc, right?
Mississippi.
Right, exactly. But if I had the capability to advance in the hex, if I still had points left over, I could make another attack if I wished.
Right.
But I don't, so that's fine. We will roll the next initiative, and it's mine once again. Okay.
When did I have my last one? That was to bring up my claws, I guess, his attack on Sedgwick. That was the last initiative I had. And yes, Vassal is it's been determined is an intelligent. It's AI, and it knows who I am, and it hates me. At least today, it hates me. It hates me more than it hates Patrick today for some reason.
I'm rolling 6s like I've never seen. I will activate Gibbon, and I'm going to drop off a sub with Gibbon. So I'm going to leave 3 behind. So I'll take that. Leave 1 piece of artillery behind. So Gibbon will go to fatigue level 2, and he will simply be able to. I will roll, but he's really only able to go 1 space. But here is his movement roll. That's fine. He's just going to go to there. And it's Zoc to Zoc. He expends everything. I am following a road, so there's no problem. Initiative. There you go.
Well, not really. I'll take Barksdale. Loses his entrenchments because he's moving. They can't carry their entrenchments with them, unfortunately. Here's his movement, +1. Oh, nice, 7. Yeah, he's going to go 1, 2, because there's 3 manpower, and that takes an extra point of manpower to get into there. 3 and 4 to there. He's going to occupy Salem Church. Initiative. That's yours.
Well, now, that does get...
I wish there was a rule in this that Early could command whoever he wants to. If this gets reprinted, I'm putting that in
there. Okay. Well, the chessboard continues, I see. Right now, just doing a quick VP, I've got 2 points for 2 and 4. So I got 4 points there. I have 2 manpower losses, so I'm at 6. So I need, at the very least, I need this to put me over the top. That would put me at 11. So, how committed can I be to this? I will activate Brooks, and he will march to 1. He will also drop off a sub. It's very unusual to have subs in a basic, so we're getting used to this, but at least folks are getting to see what they can do. And it's going to be as part of the 6th. And I'm going to leave behind 5. No artillery there. I will take the artillery with Brooks. So Brooks marches. Here's his movement. It's 2, so he's going to go 1, 2 across the river. Initiative. That's yours.
I'll activate Smith by himself. He loses his entrenchments. Here's his movement. He goes 3. He go 1, 2, and 3 to there. Initiative. That's mine. Okay, Early will activate both Hoke and Smith. Hoke loses his entrenchments. I'll leave a sub behind. 1 manpower. Hoke's going to lose a manpower. And sub 1 will be at entrench level 2. Breastworks 2, I should say. Because he's being left behind. Hoke loses his entrenchments. That way, if you want to get fancy, you're going to have to fight your way through sub 1. Here's the movement for those 2 units. 7. Early will transfer to Smith. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there. Hoke's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 because he left the Zoc. 3 movement points to go into clear terrain, so that's +4 total. But luckily he had 7 movement points, so he can go total 7 to get to that road right there. Initiative. That's fine. So if Early activate Smith and Hoke. Here's their movement +2 because it's Confederate leader activation. And there we go. Early will stay with Smith, who's going to roll now for his EM. Here's Smith's EM. He's okay. He's just going to go right there. And Hoke is going to go 1, 2, 3 to there. Initiative. It's mine. I'm going to pass for the moment.
Okay. So if I were to pass, then Roger, that would end the action cycle and the turn. Roger would win because right now I'm sitting at 6 victory points and I need 9. So I am not compelled to pass. but I need to figure out how to do this. And you now have 8 people there. You've got 4,000 men at Salem Church. So, like the namesake of the scenario, I've got to fight for it. So I'm going to activate sub 1 with Sedgwick. And he will march in place, but I will transfer Sedgwick to him. Initiative. That's yours.
I'll pass again. See which direction you're going to head.
I will activate Brooks with Sedgwick. Here's the movement roll. Boo! He will simply go 1 and 2 to there. Initiative. That's yours.
I'll pass again.
Okay. We
I
might be.
think you've committed in the direction you're going.
I have, yeah. And I may be drawing dead here. This is where the Vassal die roller comes in. So Brooks will go to 3 now. And Sedgwick will activate him. Here's the movement. Yeah. So that's very unfortunate. This is where one turn the die roller bites you. He's going to transfer to Brooks. Brooks will now roll a +1 EM. He's okay. And so he has 3 movement. We'll go 1, 2, and 3 to there. Initiative. That's yours.
I will activate Hoke with early. Here's his movement. Well, that's 4. Here's his EM. Straight up. He's okay. But he doesn't have enough to get into. No, he does. If he goes 1 to there, 2, 3, 4. Initiative. That's yours.
Sedgwick will now take Brooks to 4. And here's the movement of +1. That's a great movement. 6. Here's a +2 extended march. He's okay. Look at that. So it would be. Let's see. I have 6. So I'm going to put it up here just to remind me, as Roger does. 6 movement points. I'm going to go 1. And then to go into rough with 12 is an extra 2. So it'd be 2, 3, 4. And I have 2 left over. And this is a last ditch effort for Brooks. So if I made the attack, it would be a 9 to 12, which is a -1. And you have 3 pieces of artillery to my 3 pieces, but you're in Salem Church, which is clear, so that'd be a -2. So I'd see a -3 attack. I would have to do very, very well. That's not going to do. I'm not going to give away the hard-earned manpower losses, and yeah, so we're just gonna go there, I think. I'm trying to think of another possibility here. No, he'll just hold tight there. Initiative, that's yours.
I will pass. I guess I'm making an assumption that the sunken road hex is a readout hex for our game purposes, which is a good question.
It is, because then I can't get a flank on him. Yeah, it's printed on the map, so and it did not say otherwise in there, so I'm treating that as it is there, and I cannot get what Roger's asking about is here, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a printed readout on there. That's a Confederate readout, which means I cannot score a flank bonus on that. So that has factored heavily into getting just the 18th Mississippi out of the way. I think it's academic here, but this is one of those. This is where it gets iffy. Where it's I've made some pretty good gains on manpower, so that puts me in range. But just getting this doesn't help. I need to get this and this, which means I have to do it, but I got to do it clean. Let's have Sedgwick activate sub 1. Down to my subs over here. So he'll go to 2, and here's movement. It's 3. So he will becomes a 4. He will transfer over.
I wish I'd left a piece of artillery there. Because that would have given me a -1. I wasn't thinking about that. But
He's gonna go. He's gonna go to there and flip. So I'm gonna go Zoc to Zoc, and it flips me to disorganize. I'm gonna take the next initiative. That's mine. Yeah, Sedgwick will take sub 1 to fatigue level 3. Here's the movement. He's going to go Zoc to Zoc again and lose a manpower this time. That brings me down to 3-5. And then initiative. That's yours.
I'll take sub 1. He's going to lose his entrenchments. He's just going to go back 1 to there and stop. 2. That's yours.
Okay, well, let's see what he can do. We'll go fatigue level 4. And, wow. I've always hated this little crook of the map right here. There's just not a lot you could do. Here's movement. Oh, fantastic movement. So I have 7. And to move into rough is 5, I recall. Let's double check that. Charts. Movement.
That's 5 to get to there. And he has to stop because it's a Zoc.
It has to stop. So I could make a normal. But that's 8, 9. But I have a flank on you there. Could score some losses. Yeah, let's give it a shot. So he rolls that. Here's his extend march of now +2. That didn't help, but it doesn't hurt either. So he loses another manpower. He's still at 3. He will go 5 to there, and I will make a normal attack on Gordon and sub 1. So I see a +0 for the attack, +1 for a tactical. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes covered. This one will come off.
Yep.
So +1 for a final flank. And then I have 1 piece of artillery, and you have 2 pieces of artillery. So it's -2. So we're
Actually, this is something that was pointed out to me by Mark. If you look on the table,
if you only have 1 piece of artillery,
if the hexes at -2 modifiers convert to -1, printed.
Okay.
So even if it's counting entrenchments,
cool.
So I only get a -1.
Okay, -1 for artillery. That helps a little bit. Okay, so I see 2 up.
Yes, that's what I see.
Okay. Oh, okay. I botched it. I botched all this. So
you're only a 3, so you're just.
Oh, I'm a 3 is a little f for you, right? Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So someone's at T. Okay.
All right. Here's initiative. That's yours.
I will take Gordon to fatigue 2, and I'll throw up a flanks refused. Since I think sub 3 is not going to make his charge initiative, or you'll pass, one of the 2. I will pass.
That's your initiative.
I pass.
Oh, okay. Well, it has slipped away. You got some great clutch movements, and that's the thing you will see time and time again. And not only with 2 things, with the Confederate, they could take it on the chin up front, oftentimes, because the Union will come in there with his juggernaut, and they will get into place and everything, and then it's the clapback, and that is made doubly effective when Roger, my esteemed opponent, he gets that opportunity to come back and answer the call. So I was feeling pretty good when I got up here. with Sedgwick,
Yeah.
and then you just got like, oh, McClaws, and it was like, oh, McClaws, we stop them there, and everything's fine, and then gentlemanly, if I do say so, I encourage you to go there with Early, and that gave Early a whole
Yeah.
bunch of life to do things with these other units. So I think, I mean, this is where Holger is going to pull his hair out, and everyone will meet Holger in the comments section. I don't see a need with this to play it out because all I'm going to do is give you some more manpower losses. There's nothing to be gained with attacking here. I can't I can't eject you from there, and there's no way to sneak around to get that, and you've got that pretty well defended. So I'm content with just saying, okay, I got a final score of 2, 4, and an offset of 2 to 1. So I get 5 manpower or 5 total points, and I think for that one is it's a Confederate marginal. So I'm okay with that. I mean, can you see of anything else that I could potentially do on this one?
I mean, I thought about moving that guy there, just take those two
Right, take
points
those
away
points
from you.
back, yeah. And that was my fear if I
Uh,
didn't leave a sub, but I needed all those bodies, and I
yeah,
knew I was giving
yeah,
them up.
yeah. And that was you made the right call for me to move Hayes back there. I was thinking I needed to leave Hayes there to create a flank, but I didn't because McClaws was covering that flank. I just was being kind of silly, so that was the right quick call, and that did make a difference because it gave me that extra +1 to get these guys
Right.
through the terrain and around
And then
to get to
when you
Salem Church.
moved, I guess it was Hazer Smith back from here just to get him in range, so you now had 2 of them that you could
Yeah,
activate with 1. That was that's something you always want to be cognizant of, and I was especially here with Sedgwick. Once he got way over here, he's you've got to either build a chain of people back to your subordinates or have it so that you're outside of Zox that you can get to. And trying to shuttle people up here, I got that 1, and then I got a 2, and
yeah,
I critically needed to move Brooks much farther and faster than
yeah.
that, but it is
He
what it
came
is. Yeah.
one hex short. Really, is what happened. If he'd gotten that 1 hex, he needed to get within range on that 1 fatigue, instead he had to burn 2 fatigues to get him
And
within
that gave
range.
you all the time you needed to reinforce Salem Church.
I, that was the only time I got a nice string of initiatives because a lot of times we were
Exactly.
going, okay, it's very initiative swingy, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, they get to see the good and the bad, all the warts and all on this, and it's certainly not bad. It's just that you need a little bit of luck. You need some dice
Yeah,
luck in these one-turners, and I don't know that I would have done too much differently. I got up here where I wanted. I had that first initial attack success, but again, getting people to flank around, you really need more than a middling die roll, and then
mm-hmm.
you need that success before the initiatives go the initiatives way, the Confederate way, because they're constantly going to get those ties. So statistically, they're like 58% on that. If you do the math, you get
I think
all
that's
the
right.
the
Yeah.
doubles. Quick break. We're going to reset,
Yep.
and then Roger's going to take the Union, and I'm going to see how to defend this. So hang tight, people.
Nope. Nope. You're right back.
We have returned to Fredericksburg and thereabouts for part 2, or the replay of the Salem Church scenario. Roger is now taking the Union, and I am the Confederates. And let's see if I could do as well as he did. So it is all to you, sir. You get the first leader transfer if you wish.
I'll leave Sedgwick where he is. And I went and looked at the updated Stonewall Jackson's Way 2 map. There is a readout there, so I think we should play it that there's a readout there for this campaign.
I agree. I suspect that's where Alberto pulled this from. One of
Mm-hmm.
them, either onto Richmond 2, one of the ones where they overlap. So it's either onto Richmond 2 or Stonewall Jackson's Way. So yeah, I think it has been accepted that these readouts are now like the hills. They are now
Yeah,
naturally part of it.
part of the game. Yeah.
Yep. So I will. I thought you did a great idea there. So I'm going to take Early and put him up to Hayes just to give me that, just in case. So you get the free initiatives until you wish.
Well, let's see. I like what you did, but since people like to see us do different things, I'm going to activate how for movement with Sedgwick. So he gets a +1 to this die roll. He can go 5 movement points. So he's going to go 1 to there, 2, 3, 4 to there. And since I moved north of the Rappahannock, you now have, if you I think now McClaws can be alerted if you wish.
Yeah, so we will
And so
now.
we'll roll for initiative, I should say. Roll for initiative, not how is alerted, right? This is roll for initiative, but how I've got to displace 2 of your units, right?
Right.
That's yours.
I cannot activate McClaws yet. He's not been alerted. But I think it's probably prudent to get Wilcox out of harm's way for the moment. I think you're going to try with Sedgwick first. So I'm going to bring Hayes back with Early. So here's his movement. Fantastic movement. We're going to bring him back 1 hex to here. Initiative. That's yours.
We're going to attempt to storm Mayor's Heights here. So we're going to go in with both Newton and Howe.
And how?
So I'm attempting assault with Sedgwick, both guys. So his command rating is a 6. So basically anything less than a 6 comes off. And I need a
5
1
or
through 4.
yeah, you need a 4 or 5 to get. You need a 4 or less to get them both, right?
Yeah. It's a 3. So they both come in. So the type here is going to be a +1. I have a tactical of a +2. I'm bringing in a ton of guys. And normally this is not a great idea because the CRT table is really, really brutal. If you get a bunch of guys in, you're going to lose a lot of men. So I'm going in there with,
31.
I count 31. But it's 31 to 4.
7 times?
31 divided by 4 is, yes, so a +6 ratio. I have 6 pieces of artillery to your 2 pieces of artillery. So I have artillery covered. So there's no flank. I have no flank covered. So the final now is a +9 attack.
Assault, tactical, ratio. Yep.
Well, not as good as it could have been.
Come on, Big Six. Hey, all right.
wow.
Let's go, Big Six. All right,
So that's plus.
that scores a manpower loss on you. Wow.
That,
and me. That's all right. It offsets. That's good.
Yeah, okay.
So 1 A for you and 1 DR for me. All right. Well, that's about as good as I could get. Well, I mean, if you had rolled a 1, that would have been handy, but that's fine. That would have saved a manpower loss, but that's all right. Okay, so they are demoralized, and they get 3, and they lose 1. So they're down to that. And they must flee for their very lives. And they will go 1 away, 2 away, 3 away, 4 away, 5 and 6 away. And you may take the sunken road.
So I will only move Newton forward. Leave Howe behind. Which means I should have taken the manpower off of Howe. All right, that's okay. And now you can activate McClaws. Initiative. That's yours.
Okay, we will activate McClaws. I will release him and give up the initiative. So he's released. Initiative, that's yours.
Okay, I'll activate Gibbon. Here's his movement. Wow, nice movement. I'm just going to move him into Stone. Initiative, that's yours.
Okay, we will take McClaws. He will go to 3. Here's his movement. It's 2. Well, and here's extended march. It's okay. So he will just go to Tabernacle Church for the moment. Initiative. That's mine. I will bring Wilcox back. Here's movement. 5. He will go 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. and he has 5 total, but it will stop there. Or actually, it's 6, so we'll stop there. Initiative. That's mine again. All right, let's try to bring my claws up. See if we can do it in an orderly fashion. Here's movement +1. 3. Here's extend +1. Ah, that hurts. He goes 1 and 2 to there. Initiative. Possible end of turn.
Yeah. For those of you new to the series, a lot of advanced games have double ones being a possible end of turn or automatic end of turn, and Grant takes command, I think.
All right, we will I'll activate Haze with early. Here's movement. Fantastic movement. He's just going to drop back to there. Initiative. That's yours.
Just like that, the tactical situation has changed dramatically. I'll have Sedgwick activate Hovey for movement. Here's his movement roll. 5 movement points. Sedgwick will transfer to him. Here's his extend. He's okay. He'll drop off a sub with 5 manpower, with no artillery. These guys are going to go 1, 2, 3 to there. He'll stop there. Initiative. That's yours.
We'll have Gordon march. He will come out of his entrenchments. And here's movement +1. 4. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Initiative. Mine. I will have Gordon march again. Go to 2. Here's movement. 3. Well, it is enough. So that'd be, yeah, we'll go 1, 2, 3. Initiative. That's yours.
Howe to fatigue 4. And he's going to make an assault attempt on Hoke. It comes off. So this is kind of not good, but I kind of want to try something different. So type's going to be +1. Tactical is going to be +1. I have 5 hexes covered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But 1 hex comes off because you occupy it. So the final flank is a +1. Your artillery is with entrenchments is 2, so I don't cover it, but you only have 1 printed, so artillery is a -1. And I'm attacking across a creek hex side, which I think is the first time we've done this.
Yes.
And so a creek is a -1 because it provides some defensive cover. So I see 3 up and 2 down for a final of a +1.
Type tactical flank. Yep. Artillery. Great. Yep.
Yeah, not a great attack, but I kind of wanted to
Cinematic. They're rushing across the creek.
Yeah, I'll kind of bring in that creek as a thing. So let's see what happens here. +1 attack. It's a 3, so that's why you don't do that, gentlemen.
Here's the defense. It's 4. Okay, so -1.
It's 1. It's an F and a 1D, and I gave up a point.
Right. So big F, we take 2 fatigues and another USA loss.
And I am flipped to disorganized, right? Yep.
Now, on this point, I would have the opportunity to do a voluntary retreat since I was not ejected. That would be 1 to 4 hexes if I choose, but I think he's probably in a good spot because he's covering this Zoc here, so that keeps Sedgwick from coming over here immediately to Brooks. So I think I'm going to stay where I am. I'm nestled and ensconced in these breastworks, so we'll stand.
Okay, makes sense. Initiative. That's mine. So right now I've got, what's the VP losses now? 2-1?
2-1. Yep. So you're minus
So
one on
I've got,
that, +4 for that.
so I'm at +3. I'll Sedgwick activate Newton. Here's his movement. 4 movement points. Sedgwick will transfer to Newton. I'll go 1, 2, 3. 4 to there. It was 1, 2 to go into the Zoc. 1 to exit the Zoc. 1 to go into Gibbons, and 1 for the hex. That's why it's 3, and then 4 to there.
Yep.
Initiative. That's mine. Well, I think I need to attack McClaw's hex. I can't see the value in attacking Earl, Hayes, and Wilcox.
This is kind of the situation that I was hoping would come up. You are compelled. This is your your shot at it, and it's a -2 or -1 if I'm seeing it because you're +1 and then -2, right? So it's a
Yep.
-1 attack in the open field at Salem Church, cannons blazing as Sedgwick, attacks. That's kind of what I'm hoping for because if you eject me, that will happen. Well, there's a good chance of that, but you'll probably take a manpower loss. And right now you're at 8 if you take that, because you'd get 5 +4 is 9, but you'd be -1 on manpower. And I'm expecting that you'll probably take another manpower in the attack, so that would put you at 7-8 range even with that space. So I'm kind of hoping that that's how it plays out, but that's what you do. You hope.
Yeah. And if I attack early, I'd get a plus. You might get artillery, you might not. I'd get the ratio and the type. So it's a +2, but it's 17 on 7.
And it probably fatigue you out and doesn't
Probably
help.
fatigues me
Yep.
out. And it doesn't take a victory point hex. So I think the option is I got to take Newton to fatigue, or I'm also thinking, can I build up? You've got 9. I need to get to 18. So I'm going to take Brooks first. Here's his movement. 6.
Oh, Vassal die roller.
Don't think it makes any difference for me to try to hang on to that hex at all. I don't need all that manpower to get up there. For you to take that 5 points away, you'd have to get in there. Now, I'm going to take Brooks is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to drop off a sub there. I want to make that hard for you, so I'm going to put 5 manpower into him. It's a city hex, so there's no point in giving him any artillery.
It's not a city hex. It's a town with a clear terrain underneath. City would have the gray. Fredericksburg doesn't rate.
Doesn't rate, yeah. So I'll leave him with an artillery. Oh, he should be at 9. Need one more manpower. He should be at 9. Oh, his artillery went way up.
Military industrial complex.
He should be at 2. The one should be at 1. And he's gonna go. I guess he'll stop there. Because if I go to Sunken Road, he's gonna flip. Well, do I care if he flips to disorganized? Yeah, I will move him there if he doesn't roll. But that's fine because I just need to get one more manpower in there to get to 18. Of course, he'll probably move some guys in there, maybe, but we'll see. Initiative. Double ones. That's yours.
Well, yeah, you called it. Let's bring Wilcox. Let's see. Yeah, let's bring Wilcox. And he would be going Zoc to Zoc, but let's see what happens. Let's get a movement. 6. That's fine. He will go 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Initiative. That's mine. I will pass. Let you see what you're going to do.
Take Brooks to fatigue 2. Here's his movement. That's enough. He'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Initiative. That's yours.
Guess the safe thing to do now is to... I don't want to overload with too many bodies. Let's see, where am I on the chart now? I'm at 12, so that puts me into potential danger territory. But you got to get, let's see, 26 is what you've got, and I've got 13, so you potentially get the +1. So I think what I'm going to do then is move Gordon. So Gordon's going to go to 3. Here's his movement +1. 4. Here's extended march. He's okay. He goes 1, 2, 3, and the unfinished railroad is a road, so he'll go 4 to there. And we'll just keep him parked right there in case. Initiative. That's yours. Here we go.
So yeah, we'll attempt an assault with Cedric, Brooks, and Newton on McLaws and Wilcox. Here's the attempt. 2, so it does come off. So the type's +1. Tactical is even. The ratio is I now have 26 to 12, so I actually have a ratio +1. Artillery is you have 3 pieces to my 5, so I have artillery covered. And that's it, right? Finals +2.
I see a +2.
Here we go. +2. That's 4.
Okay, here's defense. Oh,
Yeah,
man, I 6s all day. I retire.
-2, that's going to be, I think that's game. -2 on 26 is going to be 3D.
3D.
And I'll take them all off of Newton, I guess, because it doesn't really matter.
I just get 2 Fs, or 2 individual Fs, which is fine. 1,
fatigue.
3, so 1, 2, and
Increase
3.
fatigue, manpower loss. They flip to disorganize. They flip to disorganize. And I'll roll initiative. Just it's yours if you want to take it.
I will pass.
And yeah, I know people would like to see us play this out somehow, but I think this game is over. I will pass as well.
Okay. And I think that in our discussion, this is what we would normally do in campaigns. We would have a little session review. This one, we will always talk about the scenario as a whole. I think this is a perfect opportunity. We've seen both sides of it. We've tried it a little differently, which I always appreciate that about you, is we don't just go samey. We don't copy. We don't mimic. Well, I mimic, but you make efforts to try something different. You went with the blunt hammer force on this one, Sunken Road, and then trying to come in here. And as I had hoped, I got just enough ability to pull back. McClaws got into range, and I was able to set up just a line there. And I am forcing you to do exactly, like Lee always says, you want to fight them at the location of your choosing and the conditions that you want. That's what I wanted. I wanted you to have to bring up, one, because that introduces the possibility of the failure on the assault attempt, and now you're going in with just 1 unit, but also you have 26 manpower in there. That's 13,000 men charging, screaming at Salem Church, and they're dodging the cannon. They have artillery superiority, but still, I saw you coming, and I was able to just build a line there. And the die roller has absolutely been on my side today. So, like I said, we will not see its like again for the rest of this one. So we come back over and over again. It's a one-turn scenario. So much depends on the dice, both in movement and attacks. All you can do is try to optimize some of those little digits here and there on your side of the ledger, and even then You'll roll a 1, you'll roll a 2, and your opponent will do very well. So I did not do anything, I think, out of the ordinary here. All I did was try to utilize and make the best defensive capabilities possible. So I think this one is intentionally difficult for the Union. It looks cool, but there are so many little teeny tight corners that it's hard for the Union to optimize in, that it's much more capable for the Confederates to simply react and prevent you from these high value spots of Salem Church and Tabernacle. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I was, it doesn't, to go this route is really, it's only 8 points. You get probably going to take a couple manpower losses, at least one. So you still need to grab something else or get some other manpower losses. Yeah, I felt like, okay, I'll just charge the sunken road and see what happens. And, that went well. And after that, it kind of didn't. It's hard to get once guys the clear terrain and artillery. It's very hard to offset that. I was happy with the end result, that I had a +2 attack to potentially win it if that could have flipped the other way. And obviously I was going in. I tried to go in and stay in that 26 column, which isn't that much better than the 27 column, but it's a little better. And tried to hopefully get some manpower losses on you as you built up your guys. At least balance that out. Tough scenario, I think, for the Union. I looking forward to people's comments on this who have played it.
Yes, we will absolutely invite everyone for your feedback down there, because one, it lets us know that you're watching it. I can only tell so much from the analytics, but we certainly want to engage with you, because part of the tutorial process here is, if you caught a goof, if you have questions about what our mindset was when we did this or that, Roger and I would love to answer those questions. So put them down in the comments section down there. That's what it's for. And of course, we invite everybody. I have links down there for all of the social media locations. I think we're out on Facebook, and we have a Discord server for great campaigns. So if you're new to the system and this is enticing to you at all, well, then come join us, because then you'll have lots and lots of opportunities to play all of this stuff. And everybody was a first timer at some point. And so if you feel like you're reticent because you're going to goof or something, trust me, I goof all the time. And here we are all these years later, Roger and I'm like, boy, what was I thinking? That was dumb. Why did I do that?
I'm thinking that already today. So there you go.
Yeah, the Vassal die roller will humble all players, and we are all equally hated in its eyes. So, maybe your luck when you roll the bones on the table will be a little bit better than ours collectively. But I want to say, first of all, welcome. If this is your first video series watching with us, we are glad to have you along the journey. This one is going to be pretty quick, so keep watching, and we will get to the campaign here relatively soon. For everybody who's been supporting us these many years, thank you so much. We're glad to have you still interested in this, and that we're still able to share little nuances of this game with you. And it's been my pleasure to join Roger today, and we look forward to all of you joining us. And if you could see this, if you can click the like and all that stuff, the bleep bloops that you have to do for YouTube, that'd be great. And I'm showing you people that contribute to the channel currently, but do not feel obligated. If you want to throw a buck in the tip jar, that's awesome. And as we've seen with my connection issues today, apparently those expenses are going to start coming soon. Anywho, Roger, I'll give you the final word for today, so lead him out.
Thanks, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next week when we take on the Great Flank March, scenario number 2.
Oh boy, Jackson Unleashed. Here we go, everybody.
Indeed.
That's the one you've been wanting for. So we will see you all next time. Take care, man.
Yep, bye-bye.